Hello everyone and welcome back to Titanium Trials. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman, and today we're playing a game that a few weeks ago I didn't even know existed, let alone that I would be playing it here on the channel. But this is Banner of the Maid. Banner of the Maid is a Chinese game that was described to me by the internet as Fire Emblem but the French Revolution, which immediately piqued my interest because if you don't know anything about me from things you've seen around on the channel, I'm a big fan of Fire Emblem. And I'm also just a big fan of turn-based strategy RPGs in general, which, I mean, that's what this is. So, it was on sale on the Nintendo eShop for like 10 bucks. I was stuck at home in my parents' place, waiting for my car to be repaired, had nothing better to do. So I downloaded it, and then promptly didn't play it because I decided that I was going to do a video on it. And here we are today. Of course, this is not a one-to-one representation, shall we say, of what the French Revolution looked like. I would imagine. I wasn't there, of course, but some notable things. There's the implication that there might be some sort of magic involved, maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. We have a number of historical figures. There are actually, as far as I know, all the characters, the majority of the characters, are actual historical figures from real-life French history. But a number of them who definitely did not see combat roles or military roles do, such as a number of famous female figures from the French Revolution and that era. And, well, I mean, it's a Chinese video game based on Fire Emblem. There's going to be waifu. There's going to be some waifu in there. So, doesn't bother me. Hopefully it doesn't bother you. We've played some Genshin Impact on the channel, so I imagine that that is a precedent that isn't too surprising. But, you know. So, we're going to get in here. The one thing that I have been warned about is that the translation of the script is not the best. I don't know exactly what that entails, so we'll see once we get into it here. But I probably won't be putting a lot of effort into reading out the lines and giving voices to characters. Also partially because I've heard that the story segments can be quite lengthy, possibly even lengthier than Fire Emblems. So we will just be reading through those at a decent clip so we can try and get to the good stuff of the gameplay. With all of that said, let's go, shall we? We're going to get in here, and now notably, there are actually 3 difficulty modes, which are distinct in that they're not just difficulty modes. We have an officer mode here, which I would probably describe as normal. You can save the game anytime during battles, retreating causes no penalty, no idea what that means, and you start the game with a small amount of funds and reputation. This mode is suitable for first-time players. Then there's what I'm going to be playing on, which is general mode. You can save only once in each battle, which I still feel like is quite generous, but retreating causes penalty to your rewards earned, which is interesting, and you start the game with no extra funds or reputation. This mode is suitable for players who like challenging gameplays. There's our first hint that the translation might not be the best, we'll see. Then finally, interestingly, we do have a story mode. A very easy mode for players who are only interested in the storytelling. So, if you just wanted to see what fictionalized, potentially magical French Revolution storylines would look like, you could do that. But we're going to go with general mode. I believe this is our main character here as well. I will not give a spoiler as to who she is, because I have read the name, but it's interesting, to say the least. We'll see if we'll run into her in this episode. We're going into general mode. I'm actually really excited about this. The art style seems really cool. Like, not just like the actual character profiles, but like you can see there, the maps and everything. The music seems really good. The combat seems interesting. So, we'll see. We'll see how we feel about it. Like, look at this. This actually looks pretty cool. Like, yeah, it obviously has a Unity game feel. I believe this was built in Unity, but, like, it also feels like Fire Emblem, which is not as easy to pull off as one might expect. That man got run down. Can you imagine how awful it would be to be like a runner or a scout and just hear cavalry galloping up behind you and knowing your life is about to end? That is brutal. That is savage. Yeah, look at these! Look at these little dudes walking in place. Oh, I love me a good turn-based strategy RPG. So, full disclosure, as I may have already mentioned, I am not well-read on any French history, really, and I sure as hell am not good at pronouncing French names, so for certain members of my audience, I apologize. I will do my best not to butcher anything. Please don't make too much fun of me. I'm putting this disclaimer out there ahead of time so everyone knows that this will not be the smoothest of pronunciation experiences. That said, I also don't really know... I really don't know much. I mean, my only major exposure to anything French history related, especially with the French Revolution, was either in 4th grade, and as such is not well remembered, or, of course, stereotypically through Les Mis, which also is not well remembered because it was college and I was only paying it about 30% attention because I had other things in my mind. So, this is going to be a pretty blind experience in terms of actual factual history. So, again, my apologies for that, but... Summer, 1791. Varennes, France.
Huh?
Ah, look at this anime French gentleman. Cavalry officer. Varennes is not far ahead. Are you sure that the king will be here? Oh, and hey, much less anime-looking French gentleman. White-haired politician. I can only hope that it's true, otherwise the King of France might already be in the territory of another country. Be vigilant, Marquis de Lafayette. Now that is a name that I feel like I remember, or I recognize. Don't know anything about the man, but I do feel like I recognize that name. If we don't bring the king back, the whole country will shake tomorrow. Whole country, I can't say that it's necessarily wrong, but it doesn't feel right. France can't afford this kind of blow during such a crucial moment. What is the king thinking? Can't he just stay put in the palace? Comte de Mirabeau. Mirabeau? Mirabeau. Possibly Mirabeau. That feels most right, even though it's probably not. Having just recovered from a serious illness, you should stay in Paris and rest. It was I who provided the intelligence. Of course, I have the responsibility to accompany you and the troops there. I don't think they're the Garde Nationale.
原来如此。
I'm not sure what I just heard. It was some kind of voice line. It's the army of the royalists. They must be here to pick up the king. Then I'm counting on you. I'm not experienced in battlefield commanding or leading charges. Our actions tonight will change the fate of France. Marquis de Lafayette, please be sure to find the king and all of his entourage.
让我来吧。
Don't worry. You'd better take the time and think about how to persuade the king. Okay. And we have a random noblewoman. Not the queen, I'm assuming. Maybe? What's that noise? Like I said, waifuism. The enemy has been alerted and are guarding the bridge. Anyway, move to the enemy first, get close to attack, show no mercy to these traitors. Alright, and we're just in here, so... Yeah, I mean, this looks like Fire Emblem. I see we actually have a weapon square over there on the right-hand side. What is that? We've got... On the top, it looks like muskets beat cavalry, which beats horseshoes, which beats infantry. So, okay, if I had to suss this out, this is as far as I've seen, by the way. If I had to guess, we've got some sort of, like, rifleman that beats regular cavalry, which beats maybe a cavalry charge, which beats... standard infantry, perhaps. We'll figure it out. So let's see here. How can we see... We've got our threat range. We've got detailed info here. So... Oh boy, there's a lot going on here. The General Marquis de Lafayette, the Commander-in-Chief of the Garde Nationale, a general with great accomplishments. Oh, he's got the gloves of Marquis de Lafayette. Fair enough. I guess we have armor and stuff in this? Cool. He's got 6 move, 29 attack, 10 leadership, 17 defense, and 20 armor, maybe? 7 speed, 20 scouting. Hit, dodge, and MRI. He's gonna get a brain scan! Oh, I can actually do details on these. Sick. Oh, morale, of course. The amount of morale earned each time you hit the enemy. Eliminating an enemy earns even more morale. Oh, okay, and we can see over here in the top left, we've got HP and morale, so morale must be our experience. Got it. Scouting is hit chance. Cool, makes sense. Increases dodge chance, and if your speed exceeds your target by at least 3, you can attack twice when in combat. Sick! Okay, cool. So we do have doubling and everything. Oh, and we have 2 different types of defense for different types of attacks. Ah! A little bit of Dark Deity in here. I like it. So, armor reduces damage received when attacked by blades and cannons. Oh, Jesus. And then regular defense reduces damage received when attacked by muskets and rifles. Okay. So we're pretty equal here, but I can definitely see how we might have units that are specifically capable of dealing with one but not the other. Kind of a defense versus resistance type of deal. Leadership increases the amount of morale. Ooh, so you get more XP based on this. Hit chance, dodge chance, and HP recovered by military bands. Okay. We are a Dragoon, heavy cavalry that initiates decisive charges. Attack +1 for every 3 grids moved before attacking. Oh, okay. Actually encourages doing a charge. Very cool. Character ability is Dignified. When you initiate an attack and deal damage, or dealt damage, oh boy, your target suffers defense -10, armor -10 for 1 turn after the battle. Wow. I mean, considering we only have 17 and 20 of those stats, effectively cutting that in half is going to be pretty brutal. And I'm assuming enemy units don't have as much defense and armor as we do. Story of the past class trait? Act as the storyteller describes. Hit chance +50. Really? Huh. So if we take specific actions as we're supposed to, we're more likely to hit? That's interesting. I wonder what ways that we can get creative and go off the rails with that. Standard cavalry sword, it looks like it only has 12 uses. That's... oof. That seems rough. And the gloves of Marquis de Lafayette give +2 armor, +15 hit chance. The gloves worn by the commander-in-chief during combat. Cool. Sounds good to me. Let's do it. We can cycle through everything as one might expect. We have a menu. It's sunny. Our victory condition is to defeat all enemies and find the member of the royal family in the carriage. Okay. We need to win in 9 turns and keep the Marquis alive. Fair enough. We can save the battle report. Okay, so this is where we can see... yeah, okay, this is where we can see all of the units and everything on the board. Okay, fair enough. So we can get in range, and it looks like we're moving 6, so we should get +2 attack. Yep, we can see charge activate twice there. Very good. All we have is the cavalry sword. We are at a disadvantage. Oh yeah, because he's a rifleman, I guess. He's got a standard musket, and we are just regular cavalry, so okay. But we're way stronger. We're coming out with way more damage. We are going to hit each other, so let's see how this plays out. Now this is what's cool about this. Like, our officers are not the ones fighting. We are actually doing line combat. How sick is that? Like, that's such a good detail. I love that. Ooh. We're taking some beatings here. But we got him. And that guy's gonna hang back. There's still one group of enemies left at the entrance of the town. I hope the king is still there. No time to waste. Get it done, now! Ooh, we can't quite reach him, though. Do these guys have range? Oh, jeez. Although, notably, they are only attacking from 1 square. So, I mean, we should be able to get the counter in, even if we get attacked. And we don't have any sort of healing item, so we just gotta deal with it. Okay. What's he gonna do? He is gonna attack. Fair enough. Get him, lads! Are we losing damage because we're getting hurt? That's a question, right? Like, if we're engaging in line combat, we're losing troops. Yeah, we have guys that come up and replace people in the line as we fight. But is this like a civilization type of deal where we actually could wind up losing damage because we have less guys? Well, maybe not. This guy might just have higher defense than the previous one. And we did reduce his defense there because we hit him. Alright, cool. And it looks like we leveled up there, maybe? We got... Is that a fleur de lis? Maybe? I'm not sure. I think it might be. I don't know these things! But we got it, which is interesting. Didn't specifically state that we leveled, though. The royalists were guarding this carriage. Let's get closer and take a look. Okay, and yep, we have our mark, you need to go here spot. Cool. I'm assuming we're not attacking. Heroic? No? Maybe? What is heroic versus attack, and why didn't I see that before? Oh, maybe that's what we got from the morale. Can we... I can't. Huh, okay. I wanted to try and look at our morale gauge, but I guess, yeah, maybe that's special attacks rather than XP. Like the messenger said, it's the carriage that the king took. I'll leave the searching in the town to you, as I stay here to guard the carriage. Please, try not to cause a disturbance. I will deal with it. You can rest assured. Well, madame, please step outside. What does that mean? As I expected, it's her who stayed in the carriage. Surely you would know what happens next, yes? His Majesty's in town, and the Marquis de Lafayette will find him soon enough. Please, come back to Paris with us. What will happen to our family when we return to Paris? The documents left by His Majesty confirmed that he had betrayed the country and the people. You'll be detained as soon as you arrive. For France at this moment, betrayal is a delicacy in which friends... Whoa, okay, there we go. That's a sentence. For France at this moment, betrayal is a delicacy in which friends inside and outside Paris are all eagerly waiting to take their bite. I take their meaning, but whew, that was a way to word it. Then what will become of my children, the future of the royal family? Your children will be taken care of. After all, they are from the bloodline of the royal family. In the current situation, their lives can only be held in the hands of others. Their lives are in someone else's hand. Oh, the script. Oh, no. Alright, please don't make any unnecessary resistance. This is the consequence of the royal family's behavior, and you must take responsibility. Oh! Okay, yep, magic confirmed. Fair enough. Like I said, I hadn't seen even past the combat before, so yeah, magic confirmed. Sure enough, as predicted by the painting, the blue diamond almonds has responded. It seems that you're the person I'm looking for.
什么?
What do you mean? I'm not here for the king. What I'm looking for is the ability hidden in you. Anyway, what I'm about to say may be confusing to you, but please listen to it carefully and consider it seriously before answering my question. This is not only about you and me, but also about the future of the country. Yelling and commotion in the distance. It seems the king has been found. There's not much time. Please listen carefully. Okay. So the queen is magic. Again, assuming this is the queen, but it certainly seems like it. Marabu. That was the most turbulent moment in my life. I escaped from the gate of death, My hands hold the key to change the future of the country. That was the legacy that has been passed down for hundreds of years and appeared in many stories and legends. Women who are affected by it are inevitably caught in a torturous fate. I hope this action won't be one of the many remorses in my life. I hope that they can become the Maids of France. That'll make the country peaceful and stable. What? Okay, they're hoping that they don't later feel remorse about this. So, become the Maids of France. So specifically, the women have this magical effect to them, maybe. Possibly? I don't know. 5 years later, damn, okay. On the outskirts of Toulon, France. Ah, okay, here's our protagonist, I think. The saying. It's not a saying. So the saying that the king was kidnapped is false. Rumor? News? Maybe? If the public knew the truth, the royal family should have been imprisoned or even worse. Okay, I'm literally blanking, but I know we just saw the name Mirabeau, because I was trying to pronounce it. It's not the old guy, is it? The guy with the cough? God, I don't even remember anymore. We'll figure it out. It seems like he's our narrator stand-in, though, so... It's just a story that I heard while drinking. I'm telling this story because you, my young lady, are too bored on the road. Oh, it's just a story. Speaking of which, I have heard several versions of similar stories. But the woman who changed the royal family may truly exist. After her intervention, there have been many changes in the royal family. Oh, so that's not the queen, then. Like, I feel like they would call it out if she was the queen, so she's somebody else entirely. Oh! Young lady, do you really believe that so-called maid stuff? Wielding incredible talents, the maids are born to save the country in danger. God, this is just making me think of Noelle from Genshin Impact. Every time we're talking about these, like, combat maids, that's what she is. She's a night maid, so... This might possibly, like, I know I played a lot of Genshin on the channel. This might be the waifuest game I've ever played. Like, the whole concept is obviously set up for it to be waifu bait. Wielding incredible talents, the maids were born to save the country in danger. Words. I'm not sure. This young This young lady in military uniform, there we go, claims to be a graduate of the École Militaire. I'm assuming military academy? Or something similar? Ever since women were allowed to join the army, the École Militaire received a batch of female students who passed special testing, because they're all magical, presumably. Young lady, what's your name again? Yeah, this is the guy with the cough. Yeah, okay. Pauline Bonaparte, there it is. Napoleon Bonaparte's sister, who definitely did not serve any combat roles as far as I'm aware, from the little bit of precursory reading I did. In actual history, is here and is a military officer. So, and again, as far as I know, is our protagonist, which is kind of cool. Unless the protagonist is the narrator. Maybe it's both. Who knows?
Oh?
A rare surname. You're not a Parisian, are you? I'm from Corsica. Corsica. I know that name. Maybe just because it's where the Bonaparte family is from? I'm sure someone in the comments is going to be able to give me some insight, which I very much appreciate it. I would very much appreciate that. I do love history, and I am woefully uneducated when it comes to French history. What a coincidence! When I was young, I joined the army and went to Corsica. Speaking of that... never mind. What topic do you wish to discuss? Oh, we actually get options and stuff here? Sure, let's talk about the situation in France. Why not? Speaking of that, when I was young, I really couldn't believe a revolution would happen. 7 years ago, the king summoned the Estates General? I guess that makes sense. To solve financial problems. That's right. The clergy for the first estate, the nobility for the second estate, and the commoners for the third estate. The Estates General intensified the contradiction between the estates, and finally a revolution took place in Paris. So, rather than contradiction, I'm assuming like the inequity or, you know, the widened the gap or whatever. The Bastille. Oh! Okay, yeah, these are references to things that are sparking slight memories in my mind now. The Bastille was stormed and the king compromised, resulting in the legitimation of the current assembly.
Oh?
God, I could just do a whole rewrite of this script, just you taking this and putting it in normal grammar. Also, can we just say how much of a shame it is? Obviously, Chinese game, and as far as I can tell, my ear for foreign language is not good because of my hearing damage, but it sounded like the voice lines were all in Chinese. So it's kind of a shame. Like, I chose my language on startup, and my language options were English, like Mandarin Chinese, and simplified Mandarin. And no French. I mean, it probably wouldn't have gone over super well based on the translation for the English script, but like, you're doing a game about the French Revolution. You gotta have a French option, man. Come on. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. I would have just played it in French, or at least with French voices. What are you gonna do? Well, you're quite familiar with the history. Then what do you think of the revolution? I was in Corsica 7 years ago and didn't know too much about Paris. I learned all of it later in the École Militaire. But in the past few years, although the power of the nobility has been weakened, the royal family stood unaffected. Well, the royal family changed their attitude after that, supported the reform of the assembly, and did a lot of unprecedented things. For example, girls like you were enrolled in the École Militaire. That's a policy promoted by the royal family, and they've made good use of the publicity. I know this too, but a soldier should not care too much about the political issues. Ooh, that's a wibbly-wobbly statement right there. I can see that you don't care about politics. Otherwise, you would have known me. Really? Never mind. Speaking of the military, so these two don't know each other. They're just traveling wherever it is that we're traveling. And just happen to be on the same carriage, I guess. God. Can you imagine the horror? Like, could you imagine having to share an Uber with a stranger? Oh! What is the destination of your travel? I kind of slurred that a little bit. Sorry, the destination of your travel. Man, it's like I talk for a career or something. Young lady, have you been transferred to Toulon? Oh, they did say they're going there. There's a war going on here, as I know. My older brother is also a soldier, and he's serving in Toulon. I'm here to... take a vacation. In my opinion, now's not the time for military personnel to take vacations. Domestic rebellions happen from time to time, and the wars with neighboring countries are also ongoing. As you said, as a soldier, it's time to fight for the country on the front line. Oh? Well, then why are you... To be honest, I just experienced a fierce battle recently. It was said to be a victory according to the final result. Well, I can tell it from your medal. What? Even it's... Wait, what? Even if... I'm assuming there should be an if there. Even if it's awarded by the royal family as a response to the current situation, it must be a considerable degree of military merit. Okay, we just add if, and that sentence makes way more sense. But the casualties were overwhelmingly heavy, which made me start to doubt whether I'm suitable as a soldier. Oh? So you came here to talk to your brother about it? Yes. It was also my brother's recommendation that led me to apply at the École Militaire. Although he is strange and ambitious to outsiders, he's definitely a qualified soldier. It's a bit odd to hear such comments from someone's own sister. But speaking of Toulon, it's definitely not a good place for a vacation now. The ongoing battle in Toulon that seems to lead right into it, so why not? It's been half a year already since the traders within the city helped the foreign army to occupy Toulon. The nearby cities that are affected by the war are also in a panic. Alas, people are suffering too much. This war must be ended as soon as possible. However, it's strange that not only the neighboring countries, Prussia and Austria, are attacking the city, but also the British. Since the House of Bourbon is still there, even if they're worried about the impact of the revolution, they shouldn't be rushing to wage a war. Even His Majesty supports the Assembly to engage in war. It's really... well, it's really abnormal, and there may be some unknown power in the back. Are you saying, like, the power of the maids? Who knows? However, it's not a strange thing for the king to support the war.
说来话长，
Although the king has temporarily won the support of the people, the power of the royal family and the nobility are still weakening. If the revolutionist regime is defeated by foreign troops, they will regain power. Do they even know how many people will die for this? Too bad. Perhaps I really have chosen the wrong person. Oh, so yeah, our narrator really is like... I don't know if he's a good dude or a bad dude, but he's definitely a scheming dude. I can give him that much for sure. It's just my personal conjecture. In any case, war is inevitable. It looks like we're done here, so there's nothing else to say. Glory on the battlefield, defending the country. We joined the army for this purpose. But when we actually stepped onto the battlefield, it was a totally different thing. Hundreds of people will either survive or die because of our decisions. How can one take up these responsibilities? That I don't know. I'm not familiar with military affairs. However, you see, whether you're of the royal family or the common folk, who can really say if they can dominate their own fate? That's a very aggressive way to think about it. I've heard, like, make your own fate, but, like, dominate your own fate. Like, damn, I want to dominate my fate. And according to my decades of experience, fate often won't give you much choice. What do you think, young lady? In order to not make mistakes, would you let go of the opportunity to change your fate? If you had the chance to change your fate, would you? Oh, surely not. So much for the talk. We're nearing Toulon. Well, it looks like my ride ends here. The person that my brother sent to pick me up should be near. Then I'll bid you farewell. If you happen to visit me in Paris, I'll prepare more interesting stories and some refreshments for you. Thank you. And I have a few words to say before you leave, or before I leave even. Yes? Your storytelling skills could use some work. Please do hone your speech before we next meet. Damn. That's rough. This is the first time I've had such an audience. This was the first time I saw Pauline Bonaparte. After that, she set foot on the battlefield again. And when we'll meet again in Paris, well, that's several months later. Okay. So, are we leaving the narrator behind? Chapter 1, The Cannons of Toulon. Because I imagine we're sticking with Pauline now, right? Yeah, okay. Is the guy who's supposed to pick me up still not here? I haven't seen Brother Napoleon for more than a year. News about his military merits on the front line can be heard from time to time. God, these sentences don't go where I expect them to go, so, like, it throws my inflection and timing off. This area was once downtown. When the war broke out, civilians were evacuated, leaving only a mess here. People just want a stable and peaceful life, but they can't get it because of the war. Having said that, how come no one's coming? Did I come to the wrong place? Oh boy! You just walked into the middle of a literal killing field. Artillery! In the distance! Oh, it's very close. I like that we have to have subtitles for everything. I guess it's good for people who are even more severely hearing impaired than I am. But, like, it's just funny. It's not, like... I guess it's because the descriptor, it's not just, like, marching or cannon fire. It's, like, sound of marching. It just feels funny in a verbal sense. Damn it! It's the enemy force. They've already advanced this far? I have to find a place to hide immediately. I was gonna say, she's a general, or like a soldier or whatever. Can't she just take the field? But, right, line combat. If she doesn't have any troops, what is she supposed to do?
原来如此啊！
Leclerc. I am not familiar with this human being, if they are an actual, like, historical figure. Did that young lady come this way? Could she happen to be Bonaparte's sister?
布娜巴小姐，
Can you hear me? Mademoiselle Bonaparte? No response. I'll have to search the entire area. Who's that blockhead yelling on the street? He might as well lead the enemies to us directly. I guess he must be the one sent by my brother. I can join him and escape from here. Anyway, let me check out the surroundings and find a place where we can meet. I'm already seeing a pattern where when it's time to explain the game mechanics and what they want us to do, the character goes, anyway, and completely drops character and starts tutorializing. It's the enemy scouts. Group of scattered soldiers. I don't know if you heard my tut-tut there, but I did tut-tut. I need to defeat them to reach the intersection in the front. In any case, the safety of Mademoiselle Bonaparte must be guaranteed. Okay, so... Oh. There's a chain of advantages against other classes among the various classes of units. Yep, okay. Here's our not weapon triangle. Damage and hit chance against the target will be increased when you are in an advantage and decreased when you are in disadvantage. I like the music. This is very jaunty. Leclerc's Chavet... What? That's just straight up French. Chasseur à cheval, maybe, is light cavalry, which is an advantage against light infantry, but in disadvantage against heavy cavalry. Ah, okay. So we've got light and heavy of both cavalry and infantry. Cool, got it, understood. Well, there doesn't appear to be any other cavalry here, so what are these guys? Austrian skirmishers fight with flexible tactics, effective against line infantry, ineffective against light cavalry. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll actually be in a good position against these guys. So, they are infantry, they're light, they have a rifle. Cool. Leclerc here has a rifle and bread! Excellent! He's passionate. When your morale is higher than 50, you receive attack +2, and morale increases by 5. Okay, cool. So, he's just got a rifle. He's got a... Okay, bread is our vulnerary in this. And a cocarde tricolor. Okay, that's like a flower-ish thing that you'd put on your lapel, I think. God, I'm gonna have so many people correcting me on so many things in the comments. A lock, handcrafted by King Louis. What? Handcrafted by King Louis the 16th. Huh. Gives defense and leadership. Cool, I'll take that. An ardent revolutionary soldier who gave up the opportunity to inherit the family business and joined the Revolutionary Army. So we were fighting the revolutionaries in the prologue, weren't we? I think so. Notably as well, he is an ally, much like the Marquis was in the first chapter, but Bonaparte here is not. So presumably we're not going to be able to keep Leclerc. Ooh, she has an experimental musket. Interesting. Okay. Muskets with long-range attacks and harder to chase... It's harder to chase attack enemies, so it's harder to double with it. That, okay. We lose speed. And then just a regular musket, bread, cool. Pauline Bonaparte is a striking young female officer who has the power to make others courageous. Aha. She has inspiration, which is a maid ability. Okay, so she is one of the titular maids. Got it. You get a new command, inspiration, which grants you attack +2 for 3 turns. Can be activated once per mission. Oh, cool. So just for the what is going to be the most impactful turns of the fight, like for the next 3 turns, we can just get a damage boost. Sick. She's a fusilier, line infantry. Okay. Adjacent friendly infantry units receive attack +1 and defense +1. Oh! So not only are the actual animations line combat, but it actually encourages us to engage in line combat when lining up our troops. That's really cool, actually. Huh. Okay, well, let's go. Oh, there's actually someone's hat here. Oh, no. Wait, exchange. Oh, so we can trade, of course. It's a military cap of one of our soldiers, and it was hit by several bullets. It seems the front line has expanded to this town. The port is said to be occupied by British warships. I guess the situation's not looking very optimistic. I don't know how many soldiers have already been sacrificed on the battlefield. I'll take it with me. If you meet anyone friendly, it's easier for them to recognize me. Oh! Interesting, okay. Broken military hat. Okay, so it looks like we're going to do about half this guy's HP. We only have 18 HP, though, so we do have to keep an eye on that. Okay, let's go. Oh! Oh, no! God, I can only imagine firing a musket from horseback. Jesus. We are seeing not perfect hit rates as well now, unlike in the prologue. The battlefield contains various terrains. They affect the performance of troops, sometimes obstruct their movements. And I expect there to be a comma, and sometimes obstruct their movements. For example, it's harder to move through the puddles in the town, and fighting in puddles reduces your chance of dodging enemy attacks. Cool. Okay. So this is a... No, that's not a puddle. These are puddles. Okay, what the guy just moved into. Minus 15% dodge and 3 move. I love these maps, by the way. Like, this is so sick. It's an actual town. Like, I'm so used to things like Fire Emblem, where we're either in a castle, or we're fighting out, like, in an open field, and the town is a specific square we go to get an item, or something like that, you know? Obviously, some of the newer games, like Radiant Dawn, I think maybe Three Houses had some... Yeah, Three Houses had some combat in towns. But, like, it's not the most common thing. Oh, yeah, so we're actually set up to be moving across all these items. Yeah. Yep. In this basket's a bundle of fleur-de-lis. The petals are already withered. Under the rubble, a body? Seems to be a civilian who didn't have the time to evacuate. It's not the time for sentimentality. Keep moving forward. Okay, an iris basket. Okay. Oh, so see, to engage this guy, we have to move into the puddle. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still coming out on top, so... We are going to have to heal after this, though, I think. Ah, there we go. Our morale maxed out. So, based on what we saw in the prologue, we might be able to do some sort of heroic action with that? We'll see. Alright. Oh, and that guy actually didn't die this turn. Okay, fair enough. So, okay. Hit or defeat enemies to increase your morale. When your morale counter is full, you can use the heroic attack command. Okay. Heroic attack increases your damage and hit chance as well as grants you extra XP. Ah! Okay. Got it. So it's just... Do we not have crits? I just realized that. Maybe we don't. Hit chance, dodge chance, and HP recovered. I don't think we have crits. I think we have activatable, quote-unquote, crits. Okay, very cool. That's very interesting. A piece of a burnt banner. Not long ago, I was fighting with my comrades under this banner. Soldiers fought under my command, and although they eventually repelled the enemy, most of them were killed. Was my leadership good enough? Received broken banner and sent it to the warehouse. I wonder what these trophies are going to be good for. Like, are they just going to be there as reminders of things, or are we going to do something with them? Alright, so... We don't want to move up there where we'll get hit, so I think we're just going to attack this guy from here. We have a 100% chance to hit him, so we'll do that. And then next turn we can eat some bread and heal up. Nice. I'm not seeing where we're getting our XP gains. Maybe because he's an ally? HP represents the organization of a troop. When it is reduced to 0, that troop will have to retreat. When your troop loses too much HP, you can recover it by using items. Unlike weapons, items will permanently disappear when used up. Oh. Okay, so maybe, like, we have a limited number of uses in a battle. Like, for our muskets, we have a limited amount of ammo, maybe. Or, like, I guess for a sword, maybe it needs to be resharpened after a fight or something. But we don't lose it. It just is expired for the fight. That's cool. I'm okay with that. Alright, now, what's with this? Can we fire at this guy from here? We cannot. Interesting, but it wants us to move here. Calm? What does that mean? Oh, that's okay. That's where we need to go to. So she's done now. She is no longer moving. Got it. She's been taken over by the computer. Ooh, our first actual dodge of the game. Fair enough. Yeah, so the game just straight up doesn't let her fight here, which, again, I think makes story sense. She came here by herself. It's not like she's going to have a troop of soldiers to fight under her command, so... Awesome. Well, it's going to take a couple turns, but... There are no enemies to take a phase, game. Okay. Are you Mademoiselle Bonaparte? This must be the guy who was yelling. His voice is so loud. Excuse me, are you with my brother Napoleon? I'm the subordinate of your brother, Charles Leclerc. Well, just like he described. Mademoiselle Pauline, you have the temperament that fits this military uniform perfectly. Is that what my brother said? Except Mademoiselle Josephine, you're the one he talked about most. However, the fits this military uniform part is my own opinion. Well, thank you. There are a few people in the military who speak like you, Mr. Leclerc. Men or women, some people are born to be soldiers. Let's stop talking and standing here and go back to the camp. There's an enemy line nearby, and it'll be dangerous to stay for too long. Indeed! Look out, Pauline! Oh, shit! Oh my god! Well, bye, Leclerc. Oh no! Poor guy, I liked him. It's the enemy. Artillery. Retreat now. Leclerc! God damn! Okay, well, rip Leclerc. Did we manage to bring him back to camp, or is he just done? French camp, Toulon.
Borina.
The battle begins in 4 hours. Are you still the determined soldier that I knew?
Napoleon 哥哥.
Is it you, Brother Napoleon? There he is, look at that. Leclerc asked me to bring you a message, that you owe him a big favor, and don't forget to return it later. Okay, he's alive, it's fine. Monsignor Leclerc, is he alright now? Oh my god, his legs were broken. His legs were broken from diving in order to save you, and he'll return to Paris to rest tomorrow. If I'd paid more attention to my surroundings, I would have noticed that the area had already been bombed once by the enemy. Yes, how dare you not notice that you were about to get hit by an artillery strike, the most easily predictable thing in human history. It was my poor judgment that led to Monsignor Leclerc's serious injury. Bad luck happens from time to time on the battlefield. Don't blame yourself. I've heard your victory on the front line. I've heard of your victory on the front line, even. You won the battle, but with heavy casualties.
Oh?
What, did you expect to get some compliments from me? Although the enemy was defeated, and I was exceptionally commended, I can't forget the soldiers who died in that battle, and I can't praise our victory. Should I really be considered a qualified leader? It was I who brought you to Paris, and it was I who suggested that you enter the École Militaire. Was I wrong? No, it was my own decision to become a soldier. Recall your original intention of joining the army, Pauline. At this very moment, the war is still going on. The commander agreed to my plan not long ago. Tonight, we'll launch a general attack on the enemy's position. Once the fortress is occupied, we can then use the cannons to drive the British warships out of Toulon. It's time for this battle to end. Since Leclerc is injured, I need another adjutant. What say you? Are you coming with me? Make your decision. Indecisive people are unworthy of the battlefield.
就这样办吧。
If you don't want to be a soldier anymore, I will arrange someone to send you back to Corsica. I will stay, brother. Tell me about the battle plan. Good. Then find yourself something to eat first. You can't go to the battlefield with an empty stomach. Come to me when you're ready. Leclerc's injury is my responsibility, but I still can't leave the battlefield. Protect the people like us from the anguish of war. It's for this reason that we decided to join the army. I'm assuming that should be something along the lines of to protect our countrymen from the anguish of war or something. Presumably. Chapter 2, The Maid of Toulon. Okay. This is interesting thus far. Again, the shaky translation aside, this is an intriguing little game for sure. Oh, we're right into it too. Sick. Keep firing! The enemy's resistance is still very strong. The battle against the enemy positions began in the afternoon and continued until the evening. The target of the attack is Fort Mulgrave, the most heavily fortified position of the enemy's defense around Talon, and also the key point of my brother's plan. Once we occupy this position, our artillery can bombard the British warships in the port from the high ground, block their reinforcements and retreat routes at sea, and turn the tide of battle in one fell swoop. At the moment, our army has suppressed the enemy artillery, but still hasn't gained a decisive advantage. If the situation continues this way... Whoa! Hi! Bonaparte, it's turning into a prolonged battle. The power of our artillery will be limited if we hold off till the nighttime. This is Rose de Beaumont. Huh, another... No, the other guy's name was something else. Beauregard? Might have been Beauregard. The artillery commander who supported my brother's offensive. Her name alone indicates that she's a noble, which is quite rare in the revolutionist-dominated army. Most aristocratic officers have been replaced by the revolutionists, and only a few continue to serve in the army due to the influence of the Queen. Rose de Beaumont is the most distinguished amongst them. Speaking of the legend of the Maids, it has been taboo for the past hundreds of years, as it's always related to witches and heresy. Jesus! Recently, there have been positive rumors spreading in the country, precisely because of the performance of General Rose de Beaumont on the battlefield and the publicity of the royal family. Okay, so is it a well-known fact at this point that this random noblewoman from the royal family has the power of the Maid? Maybe. Also, I just noticed she's got like a really cool, like, high-necked jacket thing. That's actually pretty sick-looking. The remaining shells are sufficient to support 3 or 4 rounds of artillery support. It's time to make a decision. Rose de Beaumont, pay attention to the tone of your voice. This is not the era where you nobles can criticize and boss around people in the army. Your responsibility is to coordinate the artillery, not issue combat orders. This man is Hubert Mondigo, the supervising adjutant sent by the general. There are many rumors about him in the army. His former superiors have all become big shots, so he's been rapidly promoted in the army. Officers who haven't received formal training like him aren't uncommon nowadays. Commander Bonaparte surely has his plan. Your reminder is unnecessary. Or are you just trying to take credit for his work with your so-called instinct of the maid? I'm just speaking as a common soldier. Indeed, if we don't have enough ammunition nor enough time. It's now or never. It's really funny seeing, like, these pretty, like, at least feels accurate historical outfits and everything. And then there's her. Like, I feel like even Pauline doesn't look bad at all. Not to say that Rose looks bad, but she just stands out as extreme waifu bait, you know? Concentrate all the shells and launch the final bombardment on the enemy positions. I'll lead the infantry charge. We must seize the opportunity to occupy the battery on the shore. Pauline, you're with me. As for Monsieur Mondigo, do you want to participate in the charge with us? About that. I caught a cold on the way here, so I'm not in condition for the charge. Then you'll be commanding the artillery support. I've already issued the plan to your subordinates. All you need to do is fire as planned.
什么?
Well, the bombarding is crucial to the offensive. I will see to it personally. The troops are ready and waiting for orders, sir. Rainy day combat is extremely tough, and the most important thing is to inspire the soldiers' courage. Put your ability to good use, Pauline.
没问题，看我的吧。
Let me know if you need my support anytime, Pauline.
好的。
Understood.
狠狠地打!
Get ready for the first round of bombardment. Fire! Yeah, so how does this actually work? Damn, fair enough. Brace yourselves, we're under fierce bombardment from the enemy. Hold the line! As long as we hold Fort Mulgrave, victory is ours. Oh, damn. Damn! Okay. We got 2 more rounds of that? The dodge chance of troops, both friendly units and enemy units, will decrease in the rain. Units marked with ally are temporary friendly troops of our side. They won't earn XP during battles. Okay, yeah, we figured that out. Units marked with calm are friendly troops that act on their own. Try your best to defeat enemies with Pauline herself to maximize the XP earned. Okay, so she's the only one who's going to be getting experience here. Fair enough. And we've got the actual artillery here, which is just a terrain feature. Okay. I wonder if we can tell anything about how artillery is going to be used. Looks like they don't have any. Alright, what about Napoleon here? Level 5. Young general with extraordinary power and potential, well known for his meritorious service in the army for years. Conqueror. Yeah, there we go. At the start of each turn, grants you and all friendly units within 2 grids attack +2, defense +2, and movement +1 for 1 turn. Damn. And recovers 20 HP, or 20% HP when eliminating an enemy. Nice. Okay. And then Rose. Dear God. A loyal and aristocratic officer who stayed in the military for the royal family. Okay, what are her abilities? Terrain Mastery. All friendly units receive speed +2 on flat terrains. Defense and armor +2 on non-plane terrains. Okay. Nice. And Special Bread. 15 HP. Regular cannonball, artillery ammunition. Okay, so she is actually just an artillery unit. Huh. Artillery. So, artillery doesn't seem to be part of the weapon triangle? Or the weapon square? Because that was just heavy and light infantry and heavy and light cavalry. But then we have specific defense for blades and cannons. Alright, fair enough. So it just exists outside of the weapon square. God, it's going to be hard not to say weapon triangle. Attack +2, hit chance +10 when you initiate attacks without moving first. Okay, got it. Makes sense. And then Napoleon just had muskets, right? Yeah, Fusilier. Alright.
没时间磨蹭了，快行动起来！
So, we still have the experimental musket, so we can attack from range. Damn. Oh, Napoleon will actually double. Okay. And then, can you attack from range?
我们必须前进。
She can, but she's not quite close enough, so we unfortunately have to move up, which means we won't get our bonus, but what can you do? And she's not doubling, which means that we could potentially get that kill with Pauline. And Napoleon can move up far enough to attack there, so, okay. Yeah, let's actually go here. Yeah, let's do this.
准备。
Damn! Wow, that's savage!
不
Holy!
要冒进，就按预定计划行动。
We could attack with the experimental musket, but why would we? It's got limited uses.
准备，开火！
Done! Hey, okay, there's our XP. Only 20 XP for a kill, though. Wow! That's pretty low. Now we can go drop this guy, and we actually won't take that much damage, so I think this is safe for us to do.
全体准备，开火！
Damn! Our damage output is insane.
瞄准了，给我打！
Okay. Oh, and we got HP back. Ah, very nice. Are we gonna get another round of artillery? Yes, we are. Yeah, so I guess the idea is just push as hard and as fast as possible while we still have artillery fire. Oh, I didn't check the effect of the rain. I need to do that.
全体准备，开火！瞄准了，给我打！
Yeah, we're just messing these guys up. Damn. Yeah, okay. As might be expected, Napoleon seems really good. Okay. All troops dodge -15 and extinguish all flames on the battlefield. Ooh, I wonder how that winds up coming in later. Nope, let me.
地图
Thank you.
分析，就让我来吧。打起精神，可别落在后面了。
So it looks like Rose only has 4 move? Oh, 3 even, +1. Why is she getting +1? Is it because of the terrain mastery? Oh no, she just has movement plus. Okay, cool. So any other artillery units that we get, we can expect to actually be even slower.
也不掂量掂量自己的斤两。
Pay attention to the target areas. Fire! Faster! Damn it, the enemy's already rushed our position. Who's that man with the messy hair? And who's that young lady? Could she just be like, or could she be just like Lady Wellesley? What? I guess they have a maid of their own. Then they're just not even gonna push up. Okay, fair enough. Not bad. The bombardment is going well, and Rose's arrangement is trustworthy. However, our enemy is very tenacious. Pauline, can you still hold on? Time is running out. Go all out and break through the enemy's defense. With my ability, I can maximize the courage of soldiers and strengthen their combat effectiveness. Although I've only got one shot at the moment, now is the most critical time of the battle. Understood. Okay, so there we go. So, can we use it on ourselves, or do we have to use it on an ally? I guess we would only use it on ourselves. Okay. Oh, I can't move now. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I thought I'd be able to use it and then move. Okay, fair enough. That's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? All right, Napoleon, get in there, bud. Eat some bread. Heal up.
炮击支援准备好了，随时听候命令。
Yeah, and I was gonna say that was our last round. Oh no, we have one more. Okay. They said we only had 3 rounds of fire, but I guess the first one was a freebie. Fair enough. The position is almost lost. It was exactly like what Lady Wellesley said. The French will become our greatest threat. The eagle from Corsica will ignite the fire of war that will sweep across the continent. That sure is a statement. Damn, okay. Those guys hit harder. Not hard enough, though. Ooh, but we don't get the double. Okay. Alright, Pauline. Also, we haven't ever saved. Yeah. I guess we'll just save now. I expected some in-between battle saves, but they've just been throwing us into it, which is odd. Nice. Yeah, I mean, Napoleon has soaked a lot of XP. I think we'll just hold off with that and let Pauline try and get more.
We'll
see if we can weaken one of them with Rose here. Yeah, there we go, that'll work. God, that's actually brutal. Jesus. Got him. And so unfortunately, unless she gets attacked here and gets some XP from that, it doesn't look like she's going to level. Which, what can you do? Okay, let's see how XP works on not kills. Okay, 10. Fair enough, that makes sense. Alright, Pauline, finish him off. And we still haven't had a chance to use one of these heroics, which is unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Go, Napoleon, go! The controls are a little bit unresponsive, so sometimes, yeah, like I click and expect it to have responded and then doesn't. Okay. Success! We did it! Unbelievable. Although you're just temporarily taking command, you fought with such bravery. As impressive as your brother said. You've overpraised me. It seemed to be my ability or something, making the soldiers become... in comparison, the targeting and timing of the cannons under your command were truly impeccable. It's rumored that you know every detail of the terrain, no matter where you're fighting. Seems that's no exaggeration. Don't say that. This is all thanks to Monsignor Hubert's... Monsieur, not Monsignor. Have I been saying that wrong this whole time? I hope I haven't been. Monsieur Hubert's strategic commanding, right? Oh, you're not the same as they said. Everyone thought that the maid of the royal family was a cold-hearted and grim person. Rose, the situation on the front is still unclear. Tell the artillery to catch up quickly and attack the British warships in the port. Do we still have ammo? I thought we did use it all. Understood. Soldiers, ready the cannons. Oh, I guess not. Your Excellency, it's the bombarding of the French. It seems that Fort Mulgrave has fallen. We should retreat as soon as possible before they block the port. Aye, aye, ma'am. This should be sufficient to force those stubborn old men to make up their minds and wage war against France. Ah, she wanted the war. The status quo of this country is a group of beasts fighting each other. and the one that survives will be the fiercest one yet. We should take the opportunity and defeat them now. However, this is not something for me to decide. Anyway, I should return home for some long-term discussions. Okay, howdy. Very cool. This is a very cool little game. I like it. Whoa. La victoire está noire. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that properly. Okay, so we got an actual completion menu there. Nice. 1 combat unit, which I'm assuming was Pauline. 7 turns, 20 enemies defeated. 0 trophies looted. Okay, so that is still something we're tracking. And we got funds. Okay. Maybe we get funds the more trophies we get? Hard to say. I see you're here, Pauline. Well, I can see the whole view of Talon from here. Take a good look. This is the city we've liberated. Brother, how can you be so determined to implement a battle plan like this?
可是
In order to contain the enemy outside the city, our allied forces have been fighting very hard. Even so, we might have not had enough time to occupy Fort Mulgrave. You're right. We were lucky to succeed in the end. Perhaps we should thank God for helping us. I for one can't make such a decision. Thinking of not being able to win the battle while soldiers fight with their lives, maybe I'm not a qualified commander at all. Pauline, do you know what's more painful than a soldier's death? More painful. To let them die in vain under the command of incompetent generals. And this is happening every day in the war. I believe that I'm the best choice that soldiers could possibly have, so I never hesitate when making decisions.
可是
But if I could come up with better plans... Pauline, did the instructors of the École Militaire not tell you? The talents of soldiers must be honed on the battlefield in order for them to blossom. We call that gathering experience points. Before that day, the soldiers who died under your command are the responsibility you must bear. Do you remember our snowball fights back in Corsica? You won 35 times, I won 20 times. You have snatched 20 victories from the best soldier in France. Give yourself some credit. Brother. So much for the gossip. I have to prepare my personal report for Paris. Otherwise, God knows what Hubert will say. With this victory, the big shots in Paris should finally make up their mind and give me a chance to make a big difference. Now's your chance to be a big shot, or so I've heard. He said something there, actually. What? I accidentally double-clicked. Remember to come and help me by then, Pauline. Understood. After the British warships withdrew, remaining enemy forces on the land were quickly annihilated, and the flame of victory burned in the city of Toulon. However, the war is not over. Starting from Toulon, the conflict between France and all of Europe has become more intense. All this started with the revolution that took place in Paris a few years ago. Nowadays, the French royal family survives under the influence of a woman, which makes Paris a stage of order and chaos intertwined. That was a sentence that, grammatically made sense, but logically makes no sense. Is it because she's a woman who has the powers of a maid? Oh, Prelude, the Maid of Toulon, Finn. Cool! Alright. God, do we, get a chance to save in this game? We might not, so I think we're going to call this one here. That feels like a pretty solid place to end it, so... Oh, boy. Guys, this is an interesting one. This is definitely an interesting one. The gameplay is simple thus far, but definitely has the potential to be very engaging. I can only imagine what they're going to do with terrain effects, mechanics of individual battles, like with the cannons. There's a lot of different potential types of units that could come into play. There's the Maid abilities that have only just been touched on. There's potential here. There's potential here. So, I like it, and if you like it, you should let me know. I'd be more than happy to play more if I can find time to slot it into the schedule, whether it's with occasional videos or streams or something else. I'd be happy to do that, but only if you guys want me to. Otherwise, I can always just play it on my own. So, initial thoughts, though. The translation is definitely rough. The character designs are cool. A few have been a bit overdone. But for the most part, I've found them engaging and compelling. Pauline seems like an interesting character thus far, although she's definitely leaning into the nervous, unsure young commander role, which we've seen plenty of times, and is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's certainly been done before, so we'll have to see how they play it here. There is, as I mentioned previously, a little bit of a jarring contrast between some of the established historical figures. Not to say that Pauline Bonaparte is not established. I really don't know what the extent of her historical contribution is in reality, but, like, we all know who Napoleon is. But, like, Napoleon's art in this looks more like what I would expect of classical art of Napoleon as done by modern artists, whereas Pauline, his sister, definitely looks like she could be in a gacha game. So it's a little bit of a jarring contrast, but not so jarring that it turns me off of the game. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about that. I like the music. I like the actual combat maps are interesting. There's potential. There's definitely potential, but let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. This is definitely an odd one, and so I feel like it could definitely spark some good discussion, especially for my French viewers, who obviously know a lot more about the history and probably about these figures and these places and times and events that have been mentioned. There's a lot going on, so if you guys have any insight into that, I'd love to hear it, because as I've mentioned, I am woefully uneducated in that regard. But until the next time, this has been Titanium Trials, Banner of the Maid. If you could, please like the video if you liked it. Comment, of course. Share with a friend. All of those good things. We are quickly approaching 1K subs. It's a huge landmark. It'll unlock all sorts of good things for us. I'll be able to monetize. We'll be able to get community features unlocked. I'll be able to chat with you guys on the actual YouTube page. Let you know what types of things are coming up without having to join my Discord, which you should still do. Good group of people in there, but I hate that people have to go to another site altogether or another location altogether to get news about the channel when I could just be posting it on the channel. So, all of that said though, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a good night. Stay safe and healthy out there. And remember, be good to each other. Bye now.